bit of background. First of all, thank you for popping on to Chic Influencer, and thank you so much for all the love, all the outpouring we are already receiving about this new venture that we are on. And I wanted to just take a minute today to introduce myself to you and tell you a little bit about how this all came about for me. So first of all, I am a mom. I am a wife to my college sweetheart, Mike. If you don't find me at home at my desk working or traveling, you will find me at the hockey deck. I am usually with my kiddos, just watching them and cheering them on as they play hockey. And I am also a retired classroom teacher and what I like to call an accidental entrepreneur, because I didn't even understand what entrepreneur even meant until really I was kind of already started on a business. So you guys, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of background about how this really came to be and where I actually started this. So I opened a business about a little over 6 years ago. What we're doing now has nothing to do with that business, but there's no way that I can talk about how I got to the point where I am without really giving a reference to that. And so I started this business about 6 years ago, having no idea of the potential and really just setting this goal for myself of getting the groceries paid for. As a teacher, my husband and I was getting paid once a month. And so my husband and I were always on this really, really strict budget. And I just remember on one occasion, I went to the grocery store and I was at the grocery store and I was just crossing my fingers that we had enough in our debit account so that I didn't have to actually charge it was like milk and diapers. It was such a cliche thing, but I just remember standing there in line, just crossing my fingers, like, please let there be enough. I just don't want to have another charge and have to explain it to Mike about why I went to Target the week before. And in my mind, I was just like creating these like annoying scenarios for the explanation I would have to give to Mike about how I had to use the credit card again. And of course, I didn't have enough. And of course, I had to charge it. And I walked out of there and I said, I know that there just has to be more than getting by. And that was it for me. It really just started with a question. There was a problem and I needed a solution. I needed something more than just getting by. I was just tired. I was tired of living paycheck to paycheck. And for me, at the time, my big vision for my business was really just doing more than getting by. It was getting the groceries paid for. I didn't understand at the time what it meant to dream big. I didn't really understand at the time the potential of what the business could be, but I did know that I was incredibly, incredibly coachable. And at that time, I was able to start getting the groceries paid for. And as I was getting the groceries paid for, I was noticing that I was actually able to do a little bit more than that. I was able to pay for the car insurance, and then I was able to pay for, I think it was just an extended maternity leave, and I was able to actually contribute in a way that the normal paycheck to paycheck living was just, it just wasn't providing for us. So there I was doing more than just, you know, providing a little bit of extra income, a little bit of extra buffer, but I was also at the point where I did want that extended maternity leave. And this is really where I think that the groundwork of Chic kind of came in for me. You know, I fought cancer. I actually fought cancer 4.5 years ago. Around this time, 5 years ago is when I started seeing just the symptoms of what it was. And, you know, on the day I was diagnosed and on the occasion that I was diagnosed, and this is still actually very, very difficult to talk about, I was on an extended maternity leave. And so I had forfeited my health insurance. And when I was forfeiting that, I also realized that I was going to actually have to accrue some serious medical bills. And I remember calling Melanie, and I just remember saying, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, I'm not gonna be healthy. I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be bald. And I just don't know who would want my support in a health and fitness type of setting. And she said something that like really stuck with me years later, because it just goes to show why this matters so much. She said to me on the phone, and it probably didn't even realize that she said it. She said to me, Katy, we're going to fight this. We'll get through this. We will, we will do what we need to do for you to get better. And it was just, I didn't even know what she said exactly, aside from one word that she said, is we. When I was getting ready to battle cancer, it was a feeling of knowing I didn't have to battle it alone. And I think about that and how hard that time in my life was and how important it was to have a community of people that I knew were not just saying, you've got this, but they were also saying, we've got this, like we can do this. And as a business owner, in the same regard, I have noticed over the past couple of years that community is key. I know that owning a business is not always easy. And in fact, sometimes it's downright difficult. But I have also realized that keeping a community of people who are not just rooting for you, but they're in the trenches with you, those are the people that you want to help you bridge that gap. And as Melanie and I, over the past, honestly, this has been a couple years that we've really been thinking about this. What is the need? What was the biggest need that we even had as business owners 6 years ago? And I think about how many times I didn't know what I was doing, or I didn't know how to get from point A to point B, or I didn't really have anyone that was in the trenches right there with me. And you should never have to go at going for a business alone. And so, when Melanie and I were developing this, we kind of went back and we said, the most important thing that gets people from A to B to where they are versus where they feel called to go is knowing that there is a community of people who are there with them, in the trenches with them. And that's really where the concept of Chic kind of came up, is you've got to have people who have your back in business. You've got to have people who are going to challenge you. You have to have people who are going to empower you. You have to have people who are excited for you to do these things. And so when we thought about Chic, we thought about how important it is, yes, to have these business trainings and to take all of the tools that we have learned over the past 6 years based on the mistakes that we've made, the things that we've done, the things that we've learned, the leadership skills that we have really tuned into, and to create a community of culture for that, but also to create that community of people, the people who are like, all right, let's network together. Let's figure this out together. So that's really where Chic has come from. And not only that, you're going to see that, Melanie has this amazing gift of training and strategy and taking this idea that you have, whether it is, selling soaps or a brick and mortar, or you are really passionate about a philanthropic idea that you have, taking that concept, seeing it through, helping create that vision, and then allowing that vision to be filled up with action, specific strategic action. And then in between those action steps, it's life, the story that's being told as you are writing the story of your business, how you are growing through it. And combining those things, that's a powerful thing, to take this idea of story and take this idea of strategy and to say, let's marry the two together. And the way that you do it is through that community. And so we are so excited to get started. And you guys, I'll be honest with you, I am sweating. I am so nervous about this because I'm so excited. And I know it's a need. And I know it's something that we both feel really called to do, to help more female entrepreneurs who were so much like us, hungry for wanting more and just learning and giving back. And we are so excited to be able to help you bridge that gap, to help you look at where you are and figure out how you're going to get to where you really feel called to go. So if you guys have not checked it out yet, I really hope you go on to the banner, or if you want to check in the comments, I'll have it for you. There's a link to register for the free training that we are doing that gives you the tools to help you start focusing on how can I bridge the gap between where I am now and really where I want to be able to go. And we're going to be doing that training on the 18th of this month at 12 o'clock. We're going to really be combining our forces, so you guys will get a sneak peek into how Melanie and I kind of banter back and forth and how we lead and how we share. And so you guys can check that training out. But I encourage you, if you work with other people, if you have someone in mind right now that you know would love a community like this, or just needs a little training or clarity or direction for where you know that they want to be too, let's get them on that training. Let's really, really start there. Steph, I'm so excited that you are registered. Let's share this. Let's get the word out. We are going chic in 2019, you guys. Going chic. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. I am excited. I am so excited, so passionate about helping other female entrepreneurs get their journey going. And gosh, I'm just so grateful, so grateful. So thank you guys for all of your support. We will see you on the webinar. Comment, like, share, whatever you need to do. Let's get this thing started. Bye, guys. Have a great day.